Sometimes the biggest story at a World Cup isn't the trophy, it's a goodbye. On July 12th, one day after Norway's fairy tale run ended in the Miami quarterfinal, Erling Haaland opened Instagram, posted a selfie from a plane, and wrote 5 words that stopped scrolls across 2 continents. Goodbye, America. It's been emotional. No essay, no hashtags, just that. And within hours, it was everywhere, because for 6 weeks, this guy hadn't just played in America, he'd become part of it. Welcome to Goalverse TV. Today we're breaking down exactly how Erling Haaland went from a name casual American fans barely knew to the single most talked about athlete of the entire 2026 World Cup, and why his farewell message hit as hard as any goal he scored this summer. The impossible run. To understand why that goodbye mattered, you have to understand where Norway started. This nation had never, not once in Haaland's lifetime, reached a men's World Cup. Just a year before the tournament, Haaland himself reportedly rated Norway's chances of winning it at under 1%. That's not humility, that's realism. Norway simply didn't do this. Then the ball started rolling. Norway opened with wins over Iraq and Senegal, dropped a rough one to France, but recovered to survive the round of 32. Then came the result that changed everything, a 2-1 win over 5-time champions Brazil in the round of 16, with Haaland scoring twice late to seal it. Suddenly, a country that had spent decades watching World Cups from the outside was in the quarterfinals, the best finish in Norwegian history, and the man at the center of it all was scoring in almost every game he played. 7 goals in 5 matches, a goal every 51 minutes, numbers that, heading into the semifinals, trailed only Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe on the entire Golden Boot list. And somewhere along the way, something happened that nobody predicted. American fans who couldn't have told you Norway's flag colors in May were fully emotionally invested by July. The quarterfinal. Which brings us to July 11th, Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. A heat index pushing past 100. Norway against England for a place in the World Cup semifinals. Norway came out fearless. Haaland tested England keeper Jordan Pickford early with a header, and moments later, Norway had the lead. Andreas Schjelderup curling a left-footed strike past Pickford's outstretched arm. England leveled in first half stoppage time through Jude Bellingham, Haaland's old teammate from their Dortmund days. Then came the moment that still has fans arguing. Early in the second half, Norway thought they'd retaken the lead off a scrambled corner, Torbjorn Heggem stabbing the ball home. The stadium erupted, and then went silent. VAR review showed Haaland had pushed an England player just before the corner was taken. Goal disallowed. 90 minutes wasn't enough to settle it. Extra time arrived, and just 3 minutes in, Bellingham struck again, pouncing on a loose ball after Norway's keeper couldn't hold the long-range effort. 2-1, England. Norway threw everything at it. Haaland, visibly drained by the heat and the accumulated miles of a historic tournament, was substituted out during extra time. The first time in 15 straight competitive games, he failed to find the net for his country. Norway's dream ended in Miami, 1 win short of the Final Four. The goodbye. And that's what makes what came next so powerful. Less than 24 hours after the most heartbreaking result of his career, Haaland didn't disappear. He didn't go quiet. He posted that selfie, red-tinted sunglasses, backward cap, black jacket, somewhere over the Atlantic, and wrote the caption that's now been screenshotted a million times over. Goodbye, USA. It's been emotional. 5 words, no over-explaining, just something real. The replies said everything about the 6 weeks that had just happened. One fan wrote that on behalf of their entire country, they'd miss him, that he'd united people in ways he'd never understand. Canada's official account even chimed in, calling him the Viking man who makes people yell at the TV in many different ways. Visa's marketing team got in on it too, dubbing him the People's Viking King. Speaking to the Associated Press afterward, Haaland went a little deeper on what the tournament meant to him personally, describing the whole experience as surreal, saying it had changed him as a person, and admitting that even now, it's hard to fully process everything that happened once he starts looking back at the games. That's not the language of a guy just going through the motions on his way out. That's someone who actually let a country in.
Why America fell for him? Because here's the thing. Haaland wasn't just brilliant on the pitch this summer. He was everywhere off it. There was the taxidermied raccoon, yes, you heard that right, that somehow ended up in his luggage on the flight home, complete with a whiskey bottle in its paws. Haaland posted about it deadpan. It followed me home. He then ran an Instagram poll letting fans name it with options like Cowboy, Ranger, and Tex. There was the sheer chaos of his popularity, reports comparing his rise in the US to the Travis Kelce effect, with insiders saying social algorithms were being reshaped around Haaland content because that's simply where American attention was going. And there was just him. The size, the goals, the deadpan humor, the willingness to lean all the way into the experience instead of treating it like a business trip. That combination, genuine dominance paired with genuine personality, is rare. It's the kind of thing that turns a foreign athlete into a household name in a single summer, and it's exactly why millions of casual fans who'd never followed international soccer before found themselves fully invested in a team that wasn't even their own. What it means for Norway. But don't lose the other half of the story, because back home, this run was seismic. A first-ever World Cup quarterfinal, a golden generation announcing itself on the biggest stage in the sport, and Haaland, even in the immediate sting of elimination, chose to talk about the future, the unity the squad built, the pride he felt in how Norway performed, and the belief that this group has genuinely proven something, that Norway belongs among the world's top footballing nations, not as a one-off, but as a starting point. That's the real weight behind 5 little words on Instagram. It wasn't just a goodbye to a country. It was a fairy tale summer closing one chapter with Haaland all but promising there's another one coming.
Norway didn't lift the trophy, but the mark Erling Haaland left on American soccer culture this summer might end up outlasting the result entirely. Judging by how he said goodbye, this doesn't feel like the end of the story. It feels like a see you soon. If this breakdown hit for you, smash that like button, subscribe to Goalverse TV, and drop a comment. Do you think Haaland and Norway are back at the next World Cup even stronger? We're covering every twist all the way to the final, so make sure notifications are on. We'll see you in the next one.